I love it. I love it with your two hands up, Robert. It's like, okay, this is a hold up. This is a
Hold them up. Hold
hold
them
them
up.
up. Hold them up. So,
You can hold your
anyways,
hands up too. You just
I
gotta
know I
you
can.
gotta set your controllers down and then
Oh,
point and then all your fingers will move.
okay. Well,
You got
um, I've got my controllers in my hands.
That's okay.
So,
You can keep them in your
you
hands.
know, some people have a control problem. So,
Uh, I do not have a control problem. Hands are up. See, hands are up.
I know, I
I'm
know.
not pushing any buttons on my side to do anything. It's all you.
You say, okay, I give up. So, anyways, but Robert, I think this is so amazing that we are in our avatars and we're in our headsets, and
Yeah,
I get to ask you a few questions. So, may I ask you a couple of questions, Robert?
absolutely. Fire
Well,
away.
okay, well, I'm so grateful and thankful that you have introduced me to a whole new dimension. And so, Robert, just for information and for my understanding, how
hmm
long have you been working in the meta, and really what got you started into working into the metaverse?
Yeah. Well, first off, thank you for your time and bringing me onto your Zoom here to talk about the metaverse. And yeah, I spent some time in the metaverse. Um, I started back in 2017, and what I was looking for was I was looking for a solution that would not be intrusive on Zooms, just like this. I mean, this is exactly what I was looking for, to where anybody could get on a Zoom, but they don't need to show their face and everything, and they could be in an avatar. So I was trying to figure out how to do that back in 2017, but here we are.
Wow, that is incredible that it was sort of like you were seeing what was to come, but you just embraced it and just started researching and developing and learning. And I know we've talked about before that, you know, everything's always evolving, everything's
Right.
always changing, and we're in that whole place. So when you look at how things are changing, I mean, it's fun to say, you know, we're not using a phone connected to the wall anymore, but now we are being able to communicate, Robert, in so many different ways. And so, how do you see this whole platform being something that's going to be advantageous and also even more secure? Because sometimes people have a little bit of trepidation and they just have a little bit of doubts about things that are being put out into the universe as being safe and secure.
Yeah, those are great questions. I'll start with the security question. You know, most important, how you know you're secure is knowing what you're doing with the technology, right? If you're just getting on, logging in, and just pressing a bunch of buttons, you might be giving out stuff you shouldn't be. So I would say the answer to security being online is just knowing how to use the software, knowing where to find the safety features, you know, in the content, or in the navigation device, I would say, or
Hmm.
I want to say jetpack. In the jetpack, you'll see everything in there on how you can navigate through the metaverse.
Hmm. Well, and I think, you know, having tour guides are really important, especially for,
Yeah.
we have talked about, you know, beginners and people that are a little bit more advanced that have been, you know, practicing and playing with, you know, different tools and equipment already, you know, utilizing
Mhm.
a platform that's similar to the metaverse. And so I think it's really important to have somebody that you trust to be able to help be a guide and an instructor. But isn't
Right.
that the way life is too, Robert? When we think about it, you know, everything that we are doing, we have learned from somebody else or somebody that else has put that information out there.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean, you know, we're here because of other people's, knowledge and expertise and everything. Um, and all I can say is, yeah, I mean, this type of, I was going to go back to the phone call, like you were saying, you know, how we went from the cord phone and all that. This is the next iteration of the internet.
Hmm.
This is the new way that people will be communicating, you know, across, you know, many continents and stuff. And it's I call this the most glorified phone call you can possibly be on.
and I like too that because so many business owners, I'm not going to just say women, but a lot of
Hmm.
women would not like to do selfies. They didn't want to do little videos and they didn't want to do things like that. But this also gives them a layer of protection and helps with their self-confidence
Yep.
because they can just be themselves and not be so concerned about, what they look like or, if the lighting is right or if it's not, because the main thing that we want to share with people, again, is some wisdom, knowledge, and some supports and things for life because we talk about all the time, ages and stages, and we want to
Hmm.
be that support system for all those caring entrepreneurs.
Yeah, and just to add to that, Nancy, the like I was saying, the next iteration of the internet, it's like, how are you going to actually navigate the internet? And I gotta say, the avatar is probably going to be the new. It's going to be the new cursor on your desktop, right? So your
Hmm.
avatar will be going into different spaces and different experiences and stuff like that, and you'll actually be totally immersed into it to where you're getting more of an experience versus just the phone call. I call it the one-dimensional experience, which would be a phone call. You're just hearing a voice, but you're not seeing anything, in the conversation. You're just hearing the conversation. But this brings that whole conversation to a whole nother level because now you're able to create things in a three-dimensional space that you can help articulate maybe that a phone call can't.
Absolutely. And I want to give these ladies just some fun information too. So, guess what? You still get to play dress up. You still get to pick your own avatar. You still get to pick your clothes and your accessories, and you can
Yeah.
change those things out too. So, the flexibility and how it has advanced is really incredible, Robert. So, everybody can still have their own unique avatar.
Everybody gets to keep their identity the way they
Hmm.
want it, right?
Hmm.
So like you're saying, the real world where the ladies might have to put makeup on before they get on a Zoom to do a presentation or whatever. This just gives you another way of doing it to where maybe you don't have the time to do that, or maybe you're running late into the call and you're like, oh, I didn't fix my hair. Well, this way you can always show up. Doesn't matter if you're in your pajamas or if you're in your business suit. You're going to show up always the same every time.
Oh, well, Robert, I am so grateful that you've taken just a few minutes today just to allow
Yeah.
us to get to know a little bit more. But I look forward to some more in-depth conversations with you because I know
Yep.
that you have so much wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And I'm very, very grateful for how patient and kind you have been with me. Just
Oh,
like I said, I feel like I'm on the bunny slope, but
yeah,
I
likewise.
think, but I'm so grateful and thankful, and I look forward to our next exciting conversation.
Oh, it's going to be fun. I can't wait. And cut.